Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. I'm down here at Circular Quay, and as you can see, we've got the Harbour Bridge proudly presented in the frame there, and we've got a westerly breeze gently clearing the skies. And if we do a panning shot across the harbour, you can see the beautiful silhouetted Opera House with a full moon to its, or not a full moon, but a quarter moon to its left, and a bright star to its right. And I'd imagine that star is a planet, be it Venus, Mars, I'm not sure. But if I looked on Google, I'd be able to identify which planet that is fairly quickly. Anyway, let's do a walk and talk today. And today I choose to chat about a book summary that I've recently come across. A very interesting book summary entitled Time Paradox. And it's written by an author called Phillip Zimbardo, The Time Paradox. And it's a book based on time and the interesting observation that most people live in a different time dimension. Just like a fish isn't really aware of the water that it lives in and it swims in, so too we as humans are not fully aware all the time that we are influenced and we are part of an environment, a time environment. And that time environment can influence the way we see the world, the way we see ourselves. And this book, what I love about this book is that at least it makes us conscious. At least it makes us conscious of the impact of the way in which we use time and we focus on time, and how it becomes a priority. And once you understand how time works and how it's prioritized in our lives, then it will give you a better view and a more interesting understanding of how we operate, why we operate, and how we sometimes don't see eye to eye with our partners, with our friends, with our colleagues. And the reason for that generally is that we are in different time zones. Let's go through now and just talk about the time zones. And Phillip Zimbardo in his book identifies, I think it's six time zones. So it's the past, so it's past positive, past negative, which is pretty self-explanatory, and we'll get through and just start talking about each and every one of them. So past positive, past negative, and then we move to the present, and we've got present fatalistic and present hedonistic, which will require a little bit of explanation. And then we go on to future. So we've got future and future transcendental. So let's go through each of the time zones and discuss them and see what we can come up with in terms of learnings. But this book is a real eye-opener, and like all reading, you know, we have the ability to attach the unknown to the known, and to grow and develop in terms of our understanding of who we are and how we behave. So Philip, in his book, talks about the different time zones that each and every one of us are caught up in. But he also mentions that through awareness, you can shape the time zones that you choose to focus on, and it can change the way you experience and live your life. So let's just go through each one of them, starting from the past, moving to the present, and then finishing up in the future. He talks about the past, and there are people, there are societies, there are communities, there are people in our lives who are focused on the past, and their view of their past or the past can be either positive or negative. And you know that if you focus on your past, or if you're caught up or trapped in your past, that can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. It all depends on how you view it and how you leverage it and how you make the most of it. But you look around and you see that a lot of people are caught up in the past, but not necessarily in a positive past, but a negative past. And they see all their past as being very, very miserable, very, very bad, and very, very painful. And for these people, they get caught up in that bitterness, and they want to seek revenge, and they want to blame everybody else and others for their past, and it becomes an obsession which they're entrapped, which they're chained in, which they're imprisoned in. And unless you're aware that you're caught up in that negative mindset, then you'll end up being trapped there forever and not being able to experience and enjoy your present or your future. So we need to be mindful. We need to be mindful that there are people and we have circumstances where all of us can, time to time, be trapped in our negative past. To the contrary, there are also people who choose to focus on their positive past, and to remember and to enjoy and to relive all their past victories, their past pleasures, their past family moments, and to remember and cherish their pasts. There's nothing greater than having a great childhood and having many great childhood memories. But the other thing that Philip in his book talks about is that you can recreate your past. If you've had a bad past, all you need to do is to go through an exercise and to identify all the good things that happened in your past, all the major events that happened in the past, and what was pleasurable, what was good about it. So you don't have to be trapped in a negative past. It's only negative because you focus on the negative and you give a higher weighting to the negative. But if you want to be empowered, if you want to make the most of those time zones that you have available to you, then you can choose to reshape your past and focus on the great things that happened in your past. As we've talked time and time again, humans are habitual in nature, and for every bad thing that's happened to us in our life, there may be 10 great things that have happened as well, but we haven't chosen to focus on those great things or to allow them to create meaning in our lives. But you're able to. You're welcome, and you're invited to look at your past and to reshape it, reframe it, and make it positive. The power is in you. But Philip also says that there is a great danger in living in the past, even a glorious past, even if you've had a great past, because focusing too much time and paying too much attention to your past, as we said before, robs us of your present and your future. So if you're focusing too much on a negative past or focusing too much on a glorious past, once again, you can get trapped. So be careful and understand the trap that you could be setting for yourself. A lot of cultures who have had a glorious past, a lot of families who have had a great past, don't tend to welcome change, don't tend to welcome progress, and don't tend to make the most of the present and their futures, because they want to stick to their past and are intoxicated by their pasts, be it positively or negatively. Anyway, let's move on to the other time zones that we have in our lives, the present. We've got the present hedonistic, which are people who all they want to do is just focus on having a good time and being happy. They're the people who are people who enjoy partying, who enjoy doing things in the moment, here and now, and don't focus, or focus less on their past and focus less on their future. What Philip talked about here is that there are two types of the people who are in the present, who are fatalistic, who are troubled by their present and see their present as painful, and there are other people who see their present as nothing more than an opportunity to party, have a great time and enjoy themselves. So what does this all mean? It means that if you're a present hedonist, there's also a risk that you won't be realistic, and all you do is go from party to party, dinner party to dinner party, cocktail session to cocktail session, and all you seek in life is the present hit, the sugar hit of happiness which exists in the present, and you don't focus on future. So all you're doing is you're trapped in your present. You've got no future drive, no future goals. You're just looking to maximise and make the most of the here and now. And the risk is that these sorts of people can be obsessive, compulsive sort of people. You could be caught up in a euphoric sort of state, wanting to maintain that euphoria, meaning that you could be a drug addicted, or caffeine addicted, or caffeine addicted. Did we say alcohol addicted? So all of these addictions are for people who want to maximise and make the most of the now. Or if you're fatalistic, then you may want to indulge in chemicals just to forget the now and to get through the now and the present. So there's dangers. There's dangers in being too focused on the now, and either from a positive or a negative perspective. So you know where we're heading with this, that the importance is to have a balance, and Philip in his book talks about the best balance is to have a positive past, a hedonistic sort of present, so seeking pleasure in the present, remembering pleasures in the past and positivities in the past, and also to have a future orientation. Because if you don't have a future orientation, then you risk being just caught up in the present or the past, or the present and the past. But you need a bit of everything, because if you don't look to the future, if you don't look to the consequences of your actions, then you may end up being overweight, obese, non-exercising, a smoker, a drug abuser, a person who abuses alcohol, and a person who abuses relationships, because you don't have a taste, you don't have a sense, you don't have a focus on your future, so you don't really see the consequences of your current actions. And here is where Phillip makes a beautiful point, and he says that families or couples who are not in the same time zone may end up fighting, may end up having disagreements, may end up not seeing eye to eye, because one person may be focused on the future, the other person may be focused on the present, or one could be focused overly on the past and the other one focused on the present, or you're combining family cultures which have different focuses, different time zone trappings. And this is where he says a lot of the issues in our lives arise, because we're in different time zones, we're in different swimming pools, we're surrounded by different waters, and it impacts our life dramatically in how we see things and how we see people and how we process our lives. So the important thing, according to Phillip, is to try and have a balance, as I said before, to have a positive past that you can touch on or you can go back to and use as a springboard, that you're hedonistic, that you look for the pleasures in your daily life, you look for the good in people, places, things, but you also have a future orientation, so that all the things you do today have a basis in creating a positive, empowering and enduring future for you and your family, and to give you hope, to give you something to get up early in the morning and to stay up late at night, to give you a purpose, to give you a thirst, to give you a zest of life. From my perspective, for me, I'm very, very fortunate to be a person of faith, and I know that my faith gives me an opportunity to focus on my past and the past, on the present, and also on the future. It grounds me, and it gives me an opportunity, as I said, to indulge and to enjoy all of those three very, very different but interdependent and interactive time zones in my life. But let's finish off with the positive affirmation. I'm alive, I'm well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay positive, stay relevant, and most importantly, give some thought to the time zone, to the water that you're surrounded in, and make sure that you live a balanced life, and you balance and enhance the experiences that you get through the different time zones, and you're not shackled, trapped or imprisoned in any one particular time zone, but also knowing that you can change your past from a negative to a positive by just sitting down and focusing on the positives in your past and recalling them and reliving them. You can enjoy your present by focusing on the joys and beauties that this life has to offer, and you can also have a focus on your future and make sure that your past your present and your future are aligned so that you make the most of what you have available to you. Anyway, I'd like to finish up now and thank you for joining me on Jim's 5 a.m. Club on this glorious spring morning. And I'll come to you again from another place with another message tomorrow at 5 a.m. and we'll continue this journey together for as long as you wish, or for as long as you have time and availability to join me. Wishing you all the best. Take care. Have a great day, a great Tuesday, and may today be another opportunity to live an outstanding life. Take care, and we'll chat again from Jim's 5 a.m. Club. Let me pan around and finish off with a beautiful silhouetted Sydney Opera House on this glorious day.